If you've spent years working on your healing, but you're still waiting till you feel better before you go live your life, this one's for you. Because you may find at some point healing is no longer something you're just doing, and instead it has turned into your full-time job that you do not remember signing up for. And the whole time you may feel like you're moving forward, you may feel like you're making progress, but it may be something that's really keeping you stuck. So what does it look like when healing becomes your entire personality? You're always researching, you're always trying something new, you're either at the beginning of a new protocol or just ending another one. But the bigger problem underneath all of this is that we have this feeling that once we heal enough, once we get as far as we want to go, then we will have the ability to get back into our life. But for right now, the focus is on healing. And everything we think about is healing, and everything we do is focused around healing. It's like we clear our whole schedule to heal. But it's a facade to believe that there's an amount of work that needs to be done before you start getting back into your life and letting life be the regulator. Something that I think a lot of people really learn the hard way is that essentially healing can end up being something that delays you from doing the things that really scare you. It delays the uncomfortable action that we have to take on this journey. It takes bravery to take your symptoms with you and to allow them and to accept them and accept yourself with the exact place that you're in. And you'll find that no amount of healing tools are going to make that fear and facing those fears feel easier. And you can just start stacking these days and pushing your recovery out more and more and more. So check in with yourself and ask yourself, how much time am I allotting in my life to my healing? How much time am I researching? How much time am I watching recovery stories? How much time am I spending in Facebook groups? Because those things feel like we're really like entrenched in the healing process. But for many people, it's actually just keeping that alarm and that hypervigilance and that sensitization locked on, because it's giving the nervous system a message that there's something wrong here. It is confirming the alarm and confirming the danger. You may also find that the tools you're using begin to backfire. And the reason for that is pretty simple to explain, which is when we reach for something every time we feel uncomfortable, again, we confirm the alarm. We confirm the danger. We teach our nervous system, this is dangerous. It needs to be handled. It's an emergency. Deal with it ASAP. And then we unintentionally reinforce the very cycle and loop that we're trying to break. And it doesn't matter how well-intentioned you are. I think a lot of people will say, I'm just doing this to support myself. I'm just doing this because it's what I want to do or because it feels good. And that is true in some cases. It's up to us to check in with ourselves and ask ourselves, am I doing what I'm doing right now to make the discomfort go away? A lot of healing culture kind of runs on this idea right now. And it's the idea that if I feel bad, I need something to make that go away as quickly as possible. So when you're dealing with nervous system sensitization, it always feels like something's going wrong. It always feels like something's off. And then that can make us feel like we constantly need to do something to mitigate the discomfort. But what if the way you feel right now is not a mistake that you need to correct? It's not something that you need to fix or change or alter in any way. What if that's the very thing that's keeping us in this mess? Being a human includes discomfort. Our goal is to update the nervous system so that it reacts and responds in the way that it's supposed to. It has the ability to turn on and do what it needs to do when we are in actual threat and then come back down when we are not. But humans feel bad. Humans feel pain. That's all part of the human experience. So anything we can do to begin practicing getting more comfortable with that is a win in my book. If you don't want healing to become your full-time job or your entire personality, you have to start asking yourself some different questions. Instead of constantly asking yourself, how can I feel better as soon as possible? What if you began to ask yourself, how do I want to live my life today with what I'm experiencing? How do I want to live even with these symptoms? How do I want to show up when things feel really hard? And how do I keep doing that until things start to get a little bit easier? The cool thing about making your focus on living your life and taking your symptoms with you is that it puts more emphasis on different circuits in the brain. Less circuits around pain and less circuits around fixing and healing and all of that, and more around who do I want to be today? What do I want to do today? What would light me up today? What would bring me a little bit of joy today? What can I still do today, even with whatever I'm experiencing? The best evidence to update the nervous system is evidence from new experiences. I truly believe that is the quickest way to update from, I feel like we're in danger, I'm sensing danger, to it is safe for me right now. Without having to convince yourself, without having to compulsively tell yourself, I'm safe, this is safe. Because the nervous system, it doesn't speak language like that. It's very experiential. It learns through experiences. When I was at the beginning of my recovery journey, I was baking cinnamon rolls 5 times a week. It was something that allowed me to get out of my head, back into my life, give me something to enjoy, something to share with other people. It was something that allowed me to take the focus off my healing, but something that also was very healing in and of itself. So this is what I mean when I talk about letting life be the regulator. Instead of us being so obsessively focused on our healing and getting better and making symptoms go away, what if there's another path here that allows you to bring the symptoms with you, engage in your life, and let that be the regulator. Let that be the healing. Life is not something that you get to finally do when you're done, when you get to the end of healing. What even is the end of healing? The hardest part about all of this to hear is that you don't figure this out by feeling ready first. You begin doing things while you still feel terrible. None of it is going to feel safe when you first start, but slowly in time, it begins to not feel as dangerous because your system will begin watching you live and updating from that. And that's something that I think a lot of people go a really long time without recognizing. You keep waiting to feel better before you live. But then you find out that living is the thing that helps you feel better and helps you heal. And that's the part I think people go a really long time without recognizing. You keep waiting to feel better before you get back into your life. Healing is your constant focus. It's all you think about. But what if you intentionally let some life in? And what if doing that is the thing that's going to help you get better? So let me know in the comments. Are you someone who has an obsessive focus on healing? Do you feel like it's taken over your whole life? Tell me one thing in the comments that you're going to do today to get back into your life before you feel better. I did this on TikTok once and I had people drop in the comments the thing that they were going to do that they were physically able to do, but hadn't been doing because they were just waiting until they felt better, waiting until they were further along. And I loved the answers and I can't wait to see what they are here on YouTube. All right. See you guys next time.